y'all? I am Ebony Christina and welcome to my channel. I am really excited about this video today because for the first time I am going to attempt to make my own organic natural cold pressed soap at home. And you clicked on this video, which means you're probably a beginner as well. So I am going to take you on this process with me from start to finish so you can see whether or not this process is truly simple, and hopefully it gives you some confidence and inspiration to go ahead and create your own first batch of soap. So I purchased a kit in order to get started doing this because quite honestly, after watching so many videos and reading different articles, I was just a little overwhelmed with all the products and tools and ingredients that I was going to need to get started. So I went out there and I looked for some kind of starter kit. And I actually found one which is from Bramble. They're a pretty popular like DIY soap care company. And they sent me a beautifully packaged kit with everything I was going to need, including all the oils. So I have a palm oil, coconut oil, castor oil, olive oil. They even sent me a fragrance oil, which is apple sage. They also sent me a package of sodium hydroxide lye, which is the chemical that's going to solidify the soap, as well as gloves, and also a beginner's card. So a step-by-step card on the ingredients, the tools I'll need, the measurements, and then they even have step-by-step what to do in the entire process. So I'm going to show you guys. You're going to watch this with me. We're going to see how this turns out, and we are both going to be surprised. Hopefully it's a success, and if not, I don't know. I'll just try it again. It'll be a funny video, I guess. Right? So please subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way when I do release another video next week, you will get a notification. You can get to watch it, and we can be on this journey together. So thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and get my prep started, get all my measurements laid out first, because it's very important that you go ahead and just get everything measured and prepared before you get started with the process. That way it's not much stop and go. Everything is laid out. You're not stressing. You're just dumping and going. So I'm about to do that now, and let's see how this turns out. Before we really get into this process, I do want to warn you all, this can be a pretty dangerous process because we are using a chemical within the soap called sodium hydroxide lye. Now don't worry, this is still going to be a natural organic soap, because by the time the end of this process is completed and your soap sits and it cures, this product will be completely gone. So it's not actually going to get into your body. This is just in order to solidify the soap pretty much. So you definitely want to be cautious. Make sure you have your gloves to cover your hands, because if this lye gets on your skin, it can pretty much burn your skin. You want to have safety goggles, because if it gets in your eyes, it could cause blindness. And then you want to be sure you're in a well-ventilated area. So make sure the room you're in, you have a couple windows open. Make sure it's nicely ventilated. And then some people even do this particular process of combining the lye water outside. So do whatever fits best for you, but just make sure you don't inhale the fumes or get it on your skin, and don't get it in your eyes as well. So now I have my big glass container. This is where we're going to mix the actual soap in. So I'm going to mix all the oils together. Then I'm going to add the lye to this along with the sodium lactate and the fragrance oil. Blend all that together with my hand mixer over there. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to mix all the oils together. Start with the olive oil. Make sure you get it all the oil down to the last drip. That's what you got your spatula for. You could even use that to go ahead and make sure you get all of that, because I didn't spend all this time getting my exact measurements. And measurements is very important when it comes to making soap. If it says 9 ounces, you better add 9 ounces because anything can really throw it off and it can compromise the integrity of your soap. So make sure you get all that oil, everything down to the last drip. Along with this video, you can print out a printable version of the procedures of everything you're going to need, all your ingredients, tools, and then step-by-step directions as well. I'm going to upload this Bramble berry card and give you guys something that you can print off. It's really useful to actually have something in writing that you can refer to while you're going along the process. So far so good. I'm really excited about the next step, which is going to be mixing the oil, the lye, the sodium lactate, and the fragrance oil all together, getting it to a point where I hit trace. And trace basically means is, basically as I blend it with my hand blender, it'll get to a point where it'll be thick enough where you can like raise it out of the oil. It'll get like almost kind of buttery or battery. And then when you take the hand mixer out of the oil, the oil will trace. It won't immediately dissolve into the oil. You'll see what I mean. I'll try to get a close up and show you guys that process. Have my goggles back on, safety first, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of the sodium lactate to the lye solution and mix that. All right, so for this part, you want to go ahead. We are going to be blending on the slowest setting. Put your hand mixer and shake it a little bit to remove any bubbles, any air that's in there. And then you want to run the lye solution over the, you don't want it to splash. So you want to go ahead and mix it in down the hand mixer. Oh, it's party time, y'all. All right, so slowly go ahead and mix that in. Make sure you get it all in there. Okay, shake that to be sure you get all your air bubbles out. Let's start blending. And you want to just do pulses. Don't take it out. You want to do this for about 1 minute. We're almost there. So now I'm just going to add my 2 ounces of the fragrance oil, which if you have sensitive skin, I don't think I'm going to put the entire 2 ounces of fragrance oil. The fragrance oil is just, you can change it to how you like it, depending on how much of a fragrance you want in there, and kind of just mix that in to make sure it's nicely added. Yeah, I'm not gonna put the entire 2 ounces. I think 1.5 ounces is good. And you can kind of change the fragrance oil amount. That doesn't really jeopardize the integrity of the recipe, but it's just how, if you want it really strong, really fragrant, you add a lot. If you don't want just a tinge of it, then you don't add too much. So I'm only gonna probably do about 1.5 ounces instead of the whole 2 ounces. I think we've hit trace. We've hit trace. So that's the most exciting part. So we have, I believe, hit trace. You don't want to do it too much. You don't want to do it where you're not at trace, because then your soap will be like too watery. But then you don't want to do it too much where it's too thick and it'll make it hard to get into your mold. So you just want to do it just right. I'm going to go ahead and take my spatula and rub it all out. No products left behind. Okay, so make sure you use a spatula and get all that. We don't want to leave anything left behind. And quite honestly, depending on the product that you use, I mean, it could be a little pricey. So you definitely want to get, oh, I'm so happy about trace. I've been hearing so much about trace in all my research, and to see it myself is really exciting. As y'all can see, I get pretty excited easily. All right, so now it's time to pour into the mold. Because this is a silicone mold, you don't actually have to like spray it down with any non-stick spray. It's already gonna be non-stick naturally, and it'll be easy to get your soap out of this come tomorrow or the day after, depending on how long it takes for your soap to truly solidify. Okay, so I wanted to get the camera just a little closer so y'all can see me do the pour. But basically we're just gonna, it's really solidified. Oh, I have to hurry because you don't want it to get too hard. So let me mix this up a little bit. It was already starting to, see, trying to adjust the camera. It was already starting to get into its mode. So it doesn't take too long for it to really start to get into its mode. So we are just going to pour that in there as such. Just get all that in there nicely. No product left behind, so we are definitely going to go ahead and scoop this in there. Ooh, it's so nice. Still have more product. I'm going to smooth this out. Oh, side note, when I do this, go to your thrift store. For your tools, I bought a lot of these glass bowls right at my local Salvation Army or thrift store. You can go to the Goodwill, wherever, and it was like $1.50. I knew that if I wanted to go somewhere to get these retail, they were going to run me a nice little penny. So don't sleep on your thrift stores when it comes to buying some of your supplies, okay? So we're gonna shake it, bang it a little bit, get all the air bubbles out, shake it out. I'm gonna also use my staff. You can make your own designs in the soap if you want, but I want my soap to just be nice and smooth. So I am going to smooth this out, make sure it gets right into the corners. I want it to feel it, and they really measured this out to fit very nicely. So I'm gonna smooth it on out. But if you do want to do designs, this is the perfect time to do it. If you want to do waves or anything. Right now, I'm not ready for like colors and designs. We're just trying to figure this whole process out. So I'm just going to smooth this out. Make sure you fill all the corners. Make sure you get out any air bubbles. Okay, I think that is good enough. So I'm gonna shake it a little bit one more time. So what I'm gonna do now is time to let it set. We wanna let it set for up to about 2 days. I'm gonna end up letting this sit for 48 hours. You could do 48 to 72 hours, something like that. So I'm gonna let this sit for 48 hours. When we come back, I'll take the soap out of the mold. We'll go ahead and get it sliced up, and we'll set it so that way it can start to cure. Now this is gonna be the hardest part, the curing process, because the curing process is when the soap really solidifies, and that way when you shower with it or you bathe with it, it lasts longer and it doesn't just pretty much melt in your hand. That's a 4-week process. So I think out of all this, that's gonna be the hardest part for me, because it's like I just want to try my soap already. But you know, we're gonna be patient. We're gonna wait the entire 4 weeks to be sure that we get the best outcome possible, and hopefully I'll be able to maybe post on my Instagram, so make sure you follow me on Instagram, because I will post a follow-up picture of how it looks after the 4 weeks and how it lathers as well. So follow me on Instagram. There's a link in the description. And so what I'm going to do right now, we are just going to let this set. We want to let it set in a, you know, like a room temperature, cool place. And you also want to cover it. You can cover it with parchment paper, or you can cover it with just a cloth. And just let it sit there right here in my kitchen. And in 2 days, I will be back, which will be pretty quick for you, but it's gonna be a couple days for me. And we'll go ahead and get the slice in. Hey guys, welcome back. So now is the big reveal. Let's take a look at the soap to see if it did what it was supposed to do and nicely harden and solidify for us. And it did. It looks beautiful. It looks really beautiful. I do want to make a correction of what I said before. Before you place a towel on it, you want to place plastic wrap. I meant to say that. So you want to place a plastic wrap over the soap or parchment paper. Make sure it's nicely wrapped so it can infuse. And then you place a cloth towel over it and let it set for 24 to 48 hours. It has been 48 hours since I prepared the soap. I decided to let it sit for 2 days. And that looks beautiful. It looks just how I wanted it to look. So I am very proud. It came out nice and hard. I was a little nervous because it was my first time. So now we're gonna go ahead and take it out of the mold and get to cutting it into bars. Hey guys, so you may notice that oval in the middle of my bar of soap. Now that's called a partial gel. It doesn't ruin the quality of the soap, it's still just as good, but it does kind of just change the appearance of it a little bit. There's ways to avoid this, so just make sure you do some research on avoiding partial gel when you begin your soap making process. You guys, I am so proud of myself for doing this. I cannot believe I just created my own soap. Like, this is a real tree action. It came out perfect. It really did come out perfect. And I love the scent of it. I only use an ounce and a half of the fragrance oil, the apple sage. And I'm glad I decided to use just a little bit because it just has like a faintness of a smell. You know, it's not like a boring soap, but it has a little bit of scent to it. It feels so soft and like it's just gonna be amazing when it's time to wash with it. I am very proud. This is my first soap and I love creating things. I love having an idea and being able to see it come like true to life. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna actually set them all up and now it's time for the curing process. Like I told you before, the curing process takes 4 weeks. So that is gonna be the hard part because I am a little antsy. I'm an impatient person sometimes, but I'm gonna be sure I have patience throughout this process. I'm gonna keep the bars stacked like this, and then every week I will like just rotate the bars and, you know, kind of move them around a little bit. That way the moisture can escape the bars, because that's what the curing process is for. It's just so that the moisture can leave the bars, and that way when you do use the bars to wash with, they don't just melt right in your hand. So I would say that this was a success, and I am very proud of myself for having this idea and actually acting on it and creating my own soap and starting a new hobby of mine and a new project. So I just want to thank you so much for being here and watching this entire video. If you want all the ingredients, the instructions to how you can make your own first batch of soap at home, look in the description of this video. You can download the printable recipe card for this. I'll have all the ingredients, all the measurements. I'll even convert the measurements as well from imperial to metrics, because I know that's kind of annoying to people who are outside of the US. And you can go ahead and download that for free. Be sure you like this video, please. If you stay to the end, that means you found some enjoyment from it. So do me a favor and give me a thumbs up on this video. Leave a comment for me below and tell me if you're gonna make your first batch of soap. What fragrance are you gonna be using? Will you be using essential oils? And also tell me how I did. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you are already subscribed to my channel, and I will see you again next time for my next DIY video. Bye.